Hey everybody, welcome back. We are doing a movie reaction. Purdy's in my lap. She can't get comfortable. She even laying down, she keeps moving, and only half of her is on the chair. So I may be in a little bit of a different position here in just a minute, just because I'm going to readjust us. But one of the movies I've been waiting to react to, and I had to wait till I had some room on my storage, is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I don't know what it's about, and I've avoided watching the making of or whatever the little clips are that Netflix puts out, the real Ma Rainey or something like that. I've been trying to avoid them, so I can't remember the titles. But I want to go ahead and watch it, and I thought it might be a good one to react to. I get the feeling it's based on true events, but I'm not positive on that. I can't tell if it's Viola Davis or I think that's Viola Davis, but I'm not positive. The description says cerebral, emotional music. The description says tensions and temperatures rise at a Chicago music studio in 1927 when fiery, fearless blues singer Ma Rainey joins her band for a recording session. And it is Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it. Was I had heard Chadwick Boseman was in it, but I forgot. It's one of his last films before he passed. Glenn Turman. I don't have my contacts in. I wasn't sure if it was Turman or Truman. Glenn Turman. And so this sounds interesting. There's also Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, a legacy brought to screen. So that tells me it is based on a true story. And that's kind of the behind the scenes, I'm guessing. It's only half an hour, so I may watch that afterwards. The film itself is an hour and a half. Let's get comfortable and watch a movie. Sounds like my neighbor's dogs when I have the windows open in the summertime. So this is down in Georgia. That must be Ma Rainey. Moving north.
Hey, hey, Daddy.
Looks like there was a bit of contention there.
She told us to be here at 1 o'clock, that's all I know.
Where's the horn player?
That
Levy's supposed
sounds
to be here
like,
same as...
I can't place the voice. I can't remember what his name is, the actor. But he's got a very distinct voice and pattern. Is this the green room?
My daddy had a known I was gonna turn out like this, he would have named me Gabriel.
Oh.
He sure does not sound like Black Panther.
Move them the hell out the way then. You was in my way, I wasn't in your way.
Any man who takes a whole week's pay and puts it on some shoes.
Just a little
Understand
bit
what
of
I mean?
contention.
What you studying you?
I ain't nobody, don't pay me no mind. I ain't nobody.
Ain't nobody but the devil.
There you go.
That's twice he's tried to get through that door now and can't get through.
Tell this man who I am, better get him straight. Tell this man who he messing with.
Is she the first diva?
Don't know.
So is Ma bisexual or is she lesbian?
Sylvester, tuck your clothes in, straighten them up, and look nice. Look like a gentleman.
Look at Sylvester with the hat on.
Take that hat off inside. And come over here and leave that piano alone.
I ain't doing nothing to the piano. I'm just looking at it.
Baby, now if that don't set right with you and straight event, I can carry my black bottom on back down south to my tour, because I don't like it up here in no ways.
Okay. Ma, I don't care.
She didn't let folks run all over her.
Sylvester, go down there and introduce yourself. I'm through playing with Irvin.
The question is, is it going to end up hurting her
But we'll be ready to go in
not
15
being
minutes.
flexible?
That's Toledo, Levy, and Slow Drag over there. Sylvester, ha!
Sylvester Brown.
Something tells me this isn't the end of it.
You play whatever Ma
I
say.
might not play nothing.
It's driving me nuts. I can't place his voice. Seeing his face doesn't help me. It's his voice. I know the voice and I can't place him.
Ma Rainey's gonna show you how black bottom.
If
Straighten
he
that out.
sings it,
Slow drag. Woo, I can hear
usually
this shit.
there's a
How in the
disconnect and
hell
he's
the fuck
able
holding the
to
party can't even talk?
say it cleanly.
You fix that, and I'll shine your shoes for you. Go on and fix that one.
You
Just
say,
have him sing it.
Good. I want to see about your songs as soon as I get the chance. I'll just take this.
Yes, sir, Mr. Stutter, man. As soon as
Is
you
he
get
going
the
to
chance.
steal it? I hope he doesn't steal it.
With a gang of white men.
Even his
She tried to
facial
fight him off.
muscles
I could
are
see where it wasn't gonna do her any
feeling
good.
it.
Just go somewhere and stay out of the way.
When Ma ain't happy, nobody happy. She's going to get into trouble, isn't she?
All they want is my voice.
She's accurate there.
I'll give me some good fellas. Know how to play real sweet
I have
music.
a feeling shit's going to hit the fan soon.
Damn, baby. Nah, I
We've
don't want
got
my
trouble
red
that's
pepper
going to
sat on the
happen.
front.
Sure done got quiet in here.
She's going to catch him.
Good morning. You get up knowing you ain't alone.
That sounds like a saxophone. I have a feeling she's going to fire him on the spot. She going to belch now? I'd belch after that.
take.
Have him sing it.
Ma Rainey's gonna show you her black bottom.
He's going to get through it. And I didn't think they were going to be ready. I thought he was going to have to do it again.
Ma? Where's she going? Ma? 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 If you walk out of the studio, you're through. You're watching.
Thought it was too good to be true.
You boys go ahead and take a little break.
Do you think
15
they'll get
minutes. We'll
through
be
it
ready to go.
again?
A bit more things before I'm finished with it. But I ain't never been the same fool twice. That's where we part.
You can put it in a paper bag and carry it around with you. It ain't got no balls. Now, Death,
There he is with that
Death
door
got some
again.
style. Death will
What
kick
is it
your
with that
ass and make you
door?
wish you never
What's
been born. That's
behind
how
that
bad
door?
Death.
You better bring it with you when you come.
So he must have gotten through his intro again.
All right, nigga, you fired.
Best thing that ever happened to me. I don't need this shit.
Did they record all their songs? What's behind that door? Is it a bathroom?
Look at that. Nigga, you stepped on my shoe. What you do that for?
I said, I'm sorry.
Is somebody going to die at the end of this?
I said, excuse me. If you can't accept that, then the hell with it.
You stepped on my shoe. He stepped on my shoe. He did. Honest.
Felt like somebody was going to
Stepped on my
die.
shoe.
Sounds like you got him in the
Stepped on my
lung.
shoe.
Looks like he's not going to have to worry about things because he's going to be going to jail. Doing big band style and white boys. So that's the real Ma Rainey. There's a saxophone. I didn't see it in the setup though for the movie. That's sweet. So I don't know how much of that was accurate to real life, and I don't know if I'll find the information quick enough. I need to find out who that actor is that played Cutler, because, gosh, I know that voice. I didn't recognize his face though, and I can't place the voice to what I've seen before. Okay, Toledo was Glenn Turman, and I've seen him in something else, or he reminds me of somebody else. Now, Mr. Mercedes, I've been wanting to see because that's Stephen King, but it wasn't on the station that I get. How to Get Away with Murder. Oh, Nate. Nate Sr. That's how I know him. Okay. Cutler is Coleman Domingo. His face in his IMDb picture looks familiar. Oh! That's why the voice is so familiar. It's Victor from Fear the Walking Dead. Okay. That was driving me nuts. I was like, I know I should know him. Okay. So that's how I know him. He's got a very distinct voice, and I couldn't match it up. I feel better now. We figured it out. Has he been in anything else I know? I watched The Butler, but there were so many actors in that. I don't remember. I remember it was an excellent movie, but I don't remember a lot about it. Okay, so that's how I know him. I knew that voice. I knew it. Slow track. I don't know if I know him or not. No, most of the shows he's been in I haven't seen. The ones I have seen, he's only had one appearance. Was he in the Cosby Show? Well, it just says Cosby. I don't know if that's the Cosby Show or if that's something else. Okay, so let's find out trivia. Not a lot of trivia, and I know not everything on here is accurate, but okay. So it was the last film performance of Chadwick Boseman. Passed away August 28th, 2020, due to colon cancer. And nobody knew that he was battling colon cancer. Okay, so the instrument that Levy was playing in the film is called a cornet. I didn't know that, though he traditionally plays as a trumpeter. Levy's name recalls a blues song of the period, When the Levee Breaks, by Kansas Joe McCoy and Memphis Minnie, released in 1929, and further popularized by Led Zeppelin. In particular, the line, If it keeps on raining, the levee's going to break. And in this movie, the levee broke. Blues singer Bessie Smith is mentioned several times, but Alberta Hunter is not mentioned. They all recorded in Chicago during the 20s. The band recording Levy's song at the end is based on Paul Whitman's orchestra. Whitman was labeled the King of Jazz despite being Caucasian. In the play, Levy never breaks through the door in the rehearsal space, though he still repeatedly tries to open it. In this film is the second time in which a secondary character meets their demise by a Chadwick Boseman character. Toledo is stabbed by Levy, which mirrors what happened in Black Panther. If you haven't seen Black Panther by now, shame on you. I don't know if I'm including this in the edit or not. So it's not based on a true story from what I can tell. So let's watch. I thought it was the way it was set up, but I guess it's not. So let's find out more about the making of it. And I'll decide if this is something I'm going to keep in the edit or not. I'm not sure if there's going to be much to react to with this.
Left her hometown of Columbus, Georgia, and headed north to
Okay,
record her music
so
for
it is
Paramount
real.
Records.
But we live in a culture where we forget what happened 2 weeks ago. To
That's
know who
true.
you are. Slow drag, Sylvester. Get me 3 bottles of Coca-Cola, ice cold. Urban, get away from me. Yeah, you can wait till I get.
When she pulled that money out, I've kept money in my bra before because it didn't have any pockets or anything. And in the summertime, I've been sweating so much that money was soaked. So that was all I could think of when she was pulling the money out was how wet the money was going to be.
I think that she sees him as a threat.
I'd agree with
A
that.
threat personally with how he's flirting with Dusty May, but she also sees him as a threat in terms of his lack of respect for me and my music.
So it is based on a true story. And that's what I was thinking at the end of the film because it looked like they were showing the real Ma Rainey and her band and everything. But then there was nothing that said based on the true events of, so I wasn't sure because there have been films before that have even said based on true events that weren't. There's no similarities, but Blair Witch Project is an example of that. If you look at the marketing campaign for Blair Witch Project and then look into the true history of it, none of it was real. Xena actually had a similar marketing thing. I don't remember it at the beginning of Xena, but definitely in the middle of production or something like that. I remember in college looking for the Xena scrolls online when I discovered the internet and trying to figure out all this who this Xena is in Greek mythology that we never heard about. Yeah, we've heard of Hercules, but we never heard of Xena. Why hadn't we heard of her before? They've got the Xena scrolls and da. So I I remember getting duped into that. I can't remember if I got duped by the Blair Witch Project or not, but I remember that everybody thought it was real, and I probably did get duped by it. But I remember everybody thinking it was real and then finding out that it was not real. And that's probably part of my skepticism uh, for the based on real events and all that kind of stuff. But also movies and stuff that are based on real life people, when you go and do the research, you always find flourishes with this and that. And, well, this didn't really happen. They just added it to keep the film interesting or, stuff like that. So that's part of my issue with what was going on in my head with this, trying to figure out if it was real or not. So the director was raised in Kentucky. He's a Broadway producer, director, and writer. Won a Tony for his work on Angels in America. One of Broadway's most respected producers and directors, according to Anonymous. It looked like they had an all African American cast and crew, or as much of it as they could. The costuming lady was not, but it looked like the majority was. And I was trying to find out if George was or not. And it doesn't outright say it, which I actually like the fact that they don't outright say it. Um, but me being nosy, I want to know. I get perturbed, is that the right word? At people by being identified by certain labels. I try my darndest not to describe people by the color of their skin, by other labels like drives me nuts that Pete Buttigieg is constantly labeled as the gay mayor, if confirmed, the first gay secretary of transportation. I think that's the title. You need to go. Um, that drives me nuts. I understand why the titles are being put out there. It's it's a shame we have to say the first woman vice president, the first black vice president, the first Asian black president or vice president. Um, it I understand why they're doing it is because why has it taken so long for us to have these folks in these titles? But at the same time, I hate the fact that we're having to identify these folks by that label as well. So I'm glad that they don't outright say it for George on his IMDb website. And August Wilson, they said that he's black, but I didn't realize that. Young black male writer. And I guess most of the pictures they showed of August Wilson were black and white, and so maybe that's why it threw me off. I don't think there were any colorized photos, but I was surprised to see that he's African American as well. I was trying to sum up the film. The film is a good film. It brings to the forefront a lot of things and issues, and even I commented on the fact that, well, she's being a bit of a diva. um, it reminds me of the stories that you hear about Aretha Franklin. But and I said something to the effect, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I said something to the effect of, yes, you need to stand your ground, but you also need to be careful you don't. I didn't say this, but I was alluding to not shooting yourself in the foot. You don't want to burn your bridges. But then she had that talk with Cutler, and it's like, okay, I see 100% now why she's coming across that way and doing what she's doing and that sort of thing. I take back what I was saying. It makes it makes sense why she was doing what she was doing, and she was trying to protect herself for as long as she could because she knew, especially with distributing her record, that that might be the end for her. She wouldn't be able to, as they said, have that leverage any further. The only thing that took me out of the movie was the scene when Toledo is talking about leftovers and kind of singing, kind of telling about leftovers. I got what he was talking about. It just seemed out of place in the movie. It just took me out of the moment. I just noticed it. And so that scene, and then for those of you that have seen other reviews that I've done, I don't know who's making that noise and what they're doing, but for those of you that have seen other reviews that I've done, the only other scene that I wasn't fully taken out of the scene, but I did start to feel like it was getting a bit long, was the scene where Levy is talking about Cutler's God and talking about God forsaking his mother and that sort of thing. I'm not a big religious person, but I'm also not totally against it. I'm totally against people abusing it, but I'm not totally against religion. And Levy was totally against it. He felt that his mother and he had been abandoned by God, and so what was the point in believing in him? Type of attitude is what I got from it. And so I wasn't totally taken out of the moment, but I did start thinking about how long the moment was, and maybe that was because it was uncomfortable, but it was supposed to be uncomfortable. So that's my thoughts on that part of it. But other than the leftovers monologue and then that uncomfortableness with the other scene, really liked the movie. I liked the points that it was trying to get across and where things were going. So I'm glad I watched it. So thank you for joining me on this one. I'll quit rambling. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.